everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome to another Coffee and Kickstarter. You can see I have my almost coffee mug now. I have actually sworn off coffee because the caffeine, every once in a while I get into this caffeine thing and I just want to get rid of it. But that doesn't mean you should grab your coffee right now. Put it on pause. I'll wait. Are you back? Great. So today's subject came across on the Solo Board Gamers Facebook page, and Eld Whitcomb, who is an author and currently the community manager of Deepwater Games, and we'll be talking about one of their games that just hit Kickstarter. I think today, and we'll be talking about that a little later on. It was a plea to basically explain the shipping container situation and how the publishing industry is looking at this. It is not a good situation right now. We all know that. I've talked about it. Others have talked about it. I can't stress enough that we as consumers need to be gracious when we kickstart campaigns now. There are shortages of material. There are shortages of containers. There are shortages of boats. And it's bound to hit every campaign or most of the campaigns that are going on. I don't think there's any campaign or very few campaigns that don't go through a Chinese manufacturing, then wait on the dock to get onto a ship and shipped over to North America or wherever they are going around the world. I think that both Jesse and Alex, who brought this up a couple of weeks ago, we have to keep in mind that for smaller designers or publishers, this type of price increases seems like extortion to the small publishers. Remember, in 2020, they budgeted maybe $3 to $4K to ship their games. Now, when they go to their logistics company, and shipping is multifaceted, it is not easy. It's costing $15,000 to $20,000. So 5 times what they originally estimated. This cuts into any profits that perhaps a designer or publisher will make during a campaign. Now, this is strictly a supply and demand, and shippers and logistic companies are taking, I believe, some advantage of the market. Of course, everybody wants to make money. The way to do that is, I've got something you want to ship something, you got to pay what I want. And if you have a higher margin, such as other products, like I think Alex brought up electronics, you're going to charge more because they have higher margins. They can afford that $20K. So what does that mean in the industry as a whole? Well, the price increases are going to be passed on to us as consumers. Further delays to those projects that cannot afford the cost. Again, I stress, they want to deliver games. But it's getting harder and harder. Publishers will stop doing Kickstarter campaigns because the risk becomes too high and nobody wants to lose their house or savings because they ran a very successful campaign and still came out of the short end of the stick and lost their home, their savings, and it's just not fair to people who love this. Over the last year with COVID, we have seen shipping prices go up. And I'm not the only one who's made mention of this. I've had other folks on Facebook mention to me the 50% rule. I am using that rule. I have mentioned it a number of times. If shipping is more than 50%, I am not backing your game. I know this has nothing to do with the designer or publisher. It's just all about cost. And I can't afford to spend $100 for a game and then $50 or $60 to ship it. I will have to think 2, 3, 4 times before I'm going to back that campaign. And these games are wonderful. And I still talk about them on my Kickstarter later on, but I don't back them. And it's a shame that these small publishers, small designers may be missing out on a market because they can't afford that shipping. So I now, because of this, focus more on solitaire games and expansions to already existing games. So I'm not really trying to add a lot more to my collection. I'm trying to focus on solitaire and expansions to already existing games. The flip side of reducing costs of the game and the manufacturing process is not something I think is a viable solution. As a collector, I love good quality components. I would hate to go back to cheaper looking games in order to cut costs. I think components in a good game can really make it a great game. And over the last 5 years, there seems to be a trend of more is better, more minis, more stretch goals, more of everything, which of course drives price up. Do you think those stretch goals are just built in? They have to plan for them and cost them out. And so even though you're hitting an artificially level that says, oh, I'm going to have to raise 100,000, those stretch goals have to be in there. So they are well aware of costs. I don't think they're fooling anybody. I think we're going to be in this recovery phase for 6 to 12 months. It's going to take that long to dig out from the COVID and also power shortages that are going on in China. There's rolling power outs in some of the areas in which some of these manufacturers exist. Also, there are shortages, wood, cardboard. So there's nothing we can do as consumers. There's nothing they can do as publishers and designers. So the key is having the patience to ride this out to the end. I think that we cannot blame the publishers and the designers for this problem, but we can blame if they don't handle it correctly. We need to support our designers and publishers, but they need our help to survive and continually do what they love to do. My next point, so we know about these shortages, and I just want to point out that in a recent Kickstarter, the pledge manager went out and it was a success. I covered the game a little bit. It's called Heroes of Cercado by Dave Killingworth, and he's publishing this game. He has done a fantastic job in handling the shortage. So instead of waiting 6 months or a year till that shortage clears and we get behind on that manufacturing, then all of a sudden the users go, where's my game? Is this like a vaporware game that's just going to disappear? No. He said, look, campaign supporters, this is the state of the industry. I can't get my wooden meeples. I just can't. So I apologize for that. It's not something I planned, but here's what I'm going to do. Anybody who's pledged at prestige level, which of course is the high level tier, which of course Harry did. Here I am talking in the third person. But he graciously apologized and said, these are the two options that you have. He basically said, I'll give you a $20 refund on your PayPal, or I'll give you a Pledge Manager $20 refund. Your choice, just email me. I emailed him, said I'd take the refund. 2 minutes later, he said, great, thank you very much. The key in this recovery period is communications. I am a project manager. I will tell you, projects live and die on communications. Nothing will destroy a reputation of a publisher if they aren't going to communicate. Now, yes, there are publishers who, no matter what you're going to do and what they do, people are going to jump on the bandwagon and back. I am not going to mention one, but I will never buy another Kickstarter from a particular company because they were not communicating around what was going on in the shipping. Shipping is bad enough that, when you say it's shipped and then 4 months later you're going like, where's my game? Oh, it's coming. Well, you told me it shipped 4 months ago. Well, there were some problems. All I'm asking as a consumer is, tell me what your problems are. Apologize, and we'll just move on, because I know that there are issues. I know that things get backed up. I know that things take a long time to ship. I know that things can get held up in customs. You just have to communicate. Communication is the key. And that's all I'm going to say about this particular subject at the moment. I thank you for joining me today. I'm going to go over, I think I got 7 or 8 Kickstarters that sort of just popped up, and some of them look really amazing. and I want to talk to you about them. If you like this show on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, or last week Friday, because it was just too hot in my machine, I couldn't edit, please hit the like. Subscribe. I would love to have you in my home, or at least in my little square box here, because I really can't see you even though I'm looking. I'm looking at you. And hit the notifications if you want more of this type of, if you want to be notified when more of this type of content hits my YouTube channel. So I thank you very much. And we are going to get on to the Kickstarter. And off we go, I guess. And welcome. We are down on my screen for the Kickstarters. And it is a wonderful day outside. Just got in from walking the puppy. The puppy's getting a little bit of break from the big dogs. As the big dogs went off to the spa to be treated to a day of fun and play in the sunshine. And hopefully they will come back in what we call the Kimmick coma, as Kimmick is the name of the kennel that offers the daycare for the dogs. So first up, now I was surprised to see this on the board game side of Kickstarter, and not that I'm annoyed or anything, but I think it's worth saying, and I think I stated this again a few times, that this is a video game. If it says VR and PC, it is a video game, regardless of whether it's a LARPing and classic tabletop game that takes on new life. Now, of course, Legends Untold, I backed the original campaign and got the first 2 campaigns, and there's another one coming, I think, soon, within a month or so. So it is a fabulous game, but they're taking it to PC. I am not going to back this. Now, there's a couple reasons why I'm not going to back this. First of all, I'm not swayed if we look at the Elite Adventurer side. Whoops. I get closed beta access. I found their weapon pack, found their armor set, found their dice, exclusive adventures, Discord title. I don't even use Discord very often, and a digital wallpaper, which I don't use. So I don't perceive any value in that at all. That doesn't mean to say that this won't be a compelling and great way of playing, and it looks like it's going to be used game masters as well as some computer-run NPCs. So I'm not quite sure how this is all going to work. It's a little light on the explanation. So I'm not sure whether, for me, this is a back. Again, I'm just going to say it does. I don't feel it belongs here in the board game section, but I thought I'd make mention of it. I did like Legends Untold. I think it's a fantastic system and a great game to play. It is backed, 169 backers. So kudos on them, and let's hope it'll come on Steam, and I'll jump on it at that point and try to remember to maybe look at it when there's a little bit more than just, we're going to have a game, and it's going to be VR, and it's going to be wonderful. Because what does virtual reality really mean? Are we going to use landscapes within my sphere? Or I'm thinking of augmented reality. And do I need a VR set? It doesn't really say that. When I see VR, I think VR, Oculus. So I don't know. And I'm not willing to invest $1,000 in the Oculus system for a game, for a VR experience. But if you have an Oculus and you're very interested, the price isn't bad, $29 if you just want the game with nothing. And there's an early door, or early bird, I should say, for $35 US. $29 if you just want the game. It says probably going to hit Steam at $29 when it hits. I'm not swayed by this. For $12,000, good luck. I want to see this, but I want to know more. I'm just not satisfied with, here's a really good game that we think you're going to like. Nah. This one is just chipped across, 20 days to go, 71 backers. So as you know, I've been spending a little bit more time on war games. This one reminded me of Rick Toffin's War a lot, back from Avalon Hill, back, I think, 70, 72, somewhere in that way, where you were fighting aces and fighting each other. And this game kind of reminded me of that. This is his first game, so it's already backed. Now, it wasn't a high level at $5,000, and they got 6,000. So I don't know where they're actually planning on getting this game manufactured at this point. It does look like a normal victory game, a war game with the half ounce, the counters, but it looks pretty neat. So there's the board of the board. Here's a look at the board and some of the components. Not really well designed. I mean, I can't see, but it looks like you have different planes. There's a digital edition for Tabletop Simulator. Why I would have to pay for that? Because I could just go on Tabletop, unless it's going to be a DLC. Quite frankly, put it out there. Let me try it before I even want to try to play this. Apparently, this must be based on an original game, because this one is the second edition somehow, and there's a upgrade kit. And then the game itself is 35 euros, which isn't particularly a hefty amount. And here's the deluxe version at 55 euros, which gives you the TTS, Tabletop Simulator, and stretch goals. You don't get the stretch goals with just the base game. So you're going to have to go for the better quality deluxe version so you can get the stretch goals. It's a high quality box. You can see redesigned counters. That's that this full color. Back in my day, it would have been just a little square with an X to show infantry. 2mm thickness, which is good. The game is language neutral. That means that the rule book is obviously in English and Italian here. They're going to ship the game within 3 months. That's an interesting promise. But flak markers, spotting, movement, combat. Again, when I look at this, it looks high, medium, low. Looks like Richthofen's War. It really does look a re-imaging of Richthofen's War. And I'm glad for it. And the planes will have its own maneuvers and the attitude and drag, just like Richthofen's War. So I think this is a pretty decent looking game. I'm almost tempted, only for the nostalgia of Richthofen's War, which I do actually have a copy of, sitting in my room there that I bought for $10. It's missing the sheets, but I can download those off the internet. Oh, there's a campaign book. If there's a stretch goal, funding goal, looks like there's Canvas Ace. I don't know what that means. It's a module. Mounted maps. So I'm wondering if the maps are the old paper cardboard type map that came out with the SPI and Avalon Hill games. Well, the SPI games. The Avalon Hill games had mounted boards, actually. The Avalon Hill had better quality games. The shipping, though, 20 euros for a $35 game. It's the killer right there. My rule, as I've said before, 50% of the cost can't be shipping. And if I want just the regular version of $35 or 35 euros, which is already $52, and then you want me to pay another $30, it makes an $80 game. Probably right, but I just can't support that type of shipping industry. So, but I wanted to make you see, I wanted to bring this to you just so that you can see that there are some great war games. I think they're making a comeback, because if we go to our next Kickstarter, Defending America, another war game it's a command of aircraft to intercept American bombers en route to the mainland United States. So I'm thinking it's Russian, something along that lines. It kind of looks neat. Number of players, 1. This is the big selling point for me for this particular game. It is a solitaire game. And this would be kind of really neat. The object of the game is to conduct numerous sorties as the pilot of an American interceptor aircraft and shoot down enemy bombers. Wow. There's a PA shooting star. I don't know what the different planes. Oh, it looks like German. Messerschmitt, Focke-Wulf, an F-86. Wow. So different. Oh, so it's only up to 1948. A full game consists of complete numerous sorties up to and through March 1948. Huh, that's interesting. That would explain the planes. So this looks like an interesting plane. They got historical planes. The rules, there's no, again, with most war games, there's no showing you how it plays or any of the reviewers. And really, I would love to see reviews of these types of games hit the mainstream, but they don't seem to do that. But they're back and they're modestly priced. I'm assuming, I'm not sure how they do the production. The Interceptor pack is $55 US, 69 Canadian. If you want the America expansion, it goes up to $95. If you want the Sortie pack, which is 2 early copies. So $95, which is 119 US. And what does it talk about shipping? So here they don't even tell me about shipping. Risks and challenges. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't back this now, only because he doesn't tell me what the shipping is. Now, I would expect shipping to be $20, $25. But I've been nailed before. So again, not a particularly great campaign, but it is a niche market, and that's what war games fulfill. So have a look if war games are your thing. There were 2 good war games this week. Next up, Train Invade. Now I only grabbed this because I don't know why. So you can see it's only got a $124 goal, and it's $531 pledge, 121 backers. Going to prove that people will back just about anything. It's a 1-800 game. I suspect that there's some rules and a sheet that you can photocopy to your heart's content, as you can see here. At least he has a how to play and the near final rules. The game itself is only $3. So, I mean, it's not a risk. Why Kickstarter? That's interesting. Benny and I have a passion for gaming and excited to publish games in a format that is fulfilling and inexpensive. So this is a print and play. So since you have a PDF, you can print at work. Now for me, that is like, no. Like he's saying, well, don't worry. If you don't have a printer, use the resources at work. There are codes of conduct around my work and rules around that. Again, what can I say? I don't know whether this is... I congratulate them. They've done it. I don't really want to dump on them for such a kind of low quality game. It may not be low quality. Sometimes these things can surprise you. A print and play game like this. But is Kickstarter the place for them? I can't answer that. You can tell me in the comments whether you agree that we can answer that question, because I can't. So congratulations. He's got 7 created before. He's back 222, so he's been around. Hopefully this is going to just go through the roof and he's going to make a lot of money. Royferon Guilds. This is a card game by Tubular Games. They have already crossed 275,000 with 3,760 backers. Now, normally I don't look at these type of games, but only because of the bigger publishers. I have a feeling that big publishers don't belong on Kickstarter. Once they've had some success, you should go out to retail, but I know that they want to get deluxe components to people. You can always make 2 versions of the game, but this does take the risk out. But anyway, 14 plus, 20 to 40 minutes per player, 1 to 4 players, there's a solo mode. Look at the box. So this is quite a great little box and folded and storage solutions. This is a new batch of cards. There are so many card games out. This event of Royferon Guilds take place immediately after Royferon. Now, I don't know this lore. So again, I don't know this game or this universe. You have to destroy your opponent's 3 cities. Attack with your troops. Oh, it's a deck thinning game. We've seen that before. And then they go through, here's the wonderful art. What's inside the box? They spend a lot of time telling us all the different things, every picture. This doesn't often sway me. This sometimes says, what are you really trying to tell me? Because you're going to give me all the flash. Now, I did see this game earlier on, and there's lots of pizzazz below too as well. Lots of people were looking at it, and we're just going to skip down here. There's expansions. There's just more. We're going to give you more. Here's your pledge level. Here's the core box. Here's the guild's core box with more. And then the extra add-ons and more add-ons. And, yeah, you know, you can buy the original card game by the looks of it. Yeah, especially if you get the highest tier, which is the Crowder Awakening. And then add-ons again, playmats, yay. Here we are, we've got a Quackalope showing the game, which is good, or at least the original game, it looks like. That's the original game. And then we'll come down here, again, here are, what do we, unlock stretch goals so far? I think they're blowing them away out of the water. Social stretch goals, okay, here's the game itself. We've got Dice Tower, Quackalope. Who's this? Board Game Coffee. The preview of the game looks like the manufacturer is doing that, or the publisher. Alex is on it. We've got some international. So they've done a really good job in their marketing. Now, I didn't know about this game until I just popped across it today. So obviously, I must live in a world that doesn't include this game or the original game. Agent reserve cards. No idle moments. Retailer bundle, dragon pledge. You get this. Look at the dragon. That looks pretty cool. Now let me check in. I'm actually taping this. Yes, I am. Boy. Here's the different tiers of shipping. The shipping wasn't too bad. It was less than a third. I checked earlier. Lore and history. The usual 5 guilds and stuff. So they give you a history of the game. They've obviously got the number of people here that are involved with the team, and then the risks and challenges. This is their 9th campaign. So this is not a pre-order. It is a final product. The 30 days from delivery, date to your door. After 30 days from delivery date to your door, we will not accept complaints related to the game box contents. Wow, that is harsh. And after 6 months, we don't even want to hear about it. Okay, so you know what, folks? I'm going to say this up front. When somebody tells me that I'm not, that unless I support you, we're not going to really support you. So I, as a content creator, have games sit on my floor for weeks before I get to them. You're telling me I have 30 days. Well, I appreciate that up front because this is a no-brainer for me. I am not going to back it for that following reason. If you're not going to support your game, and obviously you've put a lot of money into this and banked on a very low goal and going high, so probably better than your expectations. But if you don't read the fine print, it's caveat emptor, and this says, warning, warning, and I want nothing to do with warning, warning.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
So, congratulations on this high number, but no, not for me. Dog turd. I don't know why I'm ragging on campaigns today. This game does not belong on Kickstarter. Kickstarter should vet some of this stuff. This is Drek. Of course it is, because it's Dog Turd, the trading game. Now, I appreciate that Doug Driesel Jr. has been doing stand-up comedy for 15 years, and I've never heard of him. I guess this is second in a series. So somebody must have already backed this once before? I'm sorry. No, I'm not even going to look at it. I can't. No. Gone. Get rid of that one. Telemore! Why is this not backed? It's churning up. I got to save on it because I think the price was right. I'm just looking to see how it does. I already have Destinies. If you've got Destinies, this is a natural to add to your collection, perhaps. It is a narrative-driven QR scan code game, scan and play dungeon crawler. I'm a fan of this. Now, don't tell me, oh, the app. Don't lie to me, because if you've played Legends of Dragonhold or any of the, what is that? Those book games, and there are a few of them out there, even I have a couple of them. I have to read the paragraph and then go to a page. The app handles that. In fact, I will say Destiny's handles just about everything. I'm hoping that this game is in that style. A nice, light game that maybe has a little more depth because it's dungeon. So I'd like to see more depth in Destiny's. I'm not saying that Destiny isn't a bad game, because it is an excellent game. I had a lot of fun. I was playing for over 2 hours, didn't even notice until my wife came out and said, "Are we going?" Oh yeah, right. Let's go. So it is a great game. Telemore is $79 for the base game. There's the Dungeon Master, but it looks like, let's just see what we got here. The adventure game, if you want the Kickstarter exclusives, $99. I like that. They haven't really told us about the stretch goals and social goals, so I'm not really going to go real quick into jumping on the bandwagon to see what I want to see what stretch goals are. But it looks like an easy to play game. We've got a couple of videos on it. We got one stop co-op shop. That's in itself just makes it worth maybe taking a look at this game. You can get it on Tabletopia, Tabletop Simulator. You can read the rules. Looks like we have the different classes, the barbarian, the cleric, the dwarf, which is a fighter, the elf looks like a ranger, the rogue, again rangerish, and the wizard. And I do like the fact that the characters are fully clothed, more or less, in what looks like armor and robes. So that's pretty good, except for the barbarian. Of course, they always go naked up front top. Looks like a fun game. They have a project manager, so there's some respect here for having a project manager on the case. Please have a look at this game. Please, please. Last but not least, Rat Queens to the slaughter. This is, what is this? Deepwater Games. I was talking to Elle Whitcomb this morning about this and other things. A very bright person, and I really appreciate that she took the time to talk to me. I should have asked what her pronoun was, perhaps. But anyway, I'll ask her next time. However, this looks like a great game. Lots of play. Looks like a lot of value. 1 to 4 players, of course, solo mode, right in for that. 45 to 60 minute playing time. That's good. I think 14 plus. I look for games that are under 2 hours. In fact, under 90 minutes or better. I love the description. These booze-guzzled, death-dealing battle maidens for hire need your help defending their home. They should have taken a characterization of my wife, because she is a booze-guzzling, death-dealing battle maiden herself. She would take that as a compliment, I hope. If not, she'll tell me. Believe me, I'll hear about it. Look at the minis. So, representations of our rat queens. It's a cooperative adventure. We massacre monsters. We're going to defend our home. Troll girlfriend. Okay. Everybody needs a troll girlfriend. Actually, I think that's one of the miniatures. Looks like there's an overview of the game. What's in the box? The base game, $49. That's pretty damn reasonable for a game. Solo mode counters, or tokens, I should say. So it looks like you're going to go delving into a bag for solo mode to do some solo play. That made no sense, but that's okay. I like the Battle Maidens, $79. The retail's $100. This one's $49. I think if you're going to go in, you go in all the way. There it is, the ultimate version. That's what I want. Look at these kick-ass miniatures. We've got some add-ons. Why should we back it? Because there's strict goals and exclusives. It's cheaper now than it will be in retail. Get it first. We have, obviously, Dice Tower in on it. We have Violet, Hannah, Dee, Betty, and Braga. I like Braga. And then there we are, the miniatures. We're going to stop hordes of monsters. I don't know if it's a tower defense game or not. We have add-ons, so if you don't buy everything, you can add on as much as you want. We have some limited editions, so you get some art, and you can get some enamel pins. They seem to be popular, very popular, I guess. Marketing, and add a little more money. We've got some more looks at the game, so that's good. Shipping estimate to Canada on the all-in is $30. Not bad, because I believe that was the $139 game. This, if I was going to back any one game, and I haven't decided yet, sorry, Al, but if I was going to back any one game, this game would probably be one that I would take a really serious look at. I think it's going to hold its its value, so that if you don't like it, you'll be able to most likely sell it later on. I think there's a market for it. I like the fact that there are strong female characters. We don't see that enough in designed games. We don't see that enough from designers in games, strong female characters. And there are people like my wife, she would love to see more stronger, non-traditional female characters. Anyway, folks, that is it. I have to go and edit this down, get it up. I got to go back to work because it's now after lunchtime. So I will see you all on the flip side. If you like what you saw, hit like, subscribe. You know the drill, hit the notifications. Bye, everybody.